This is a solution video for the Dovetail guide that is in your text. The directions state to draw the primary auxiliary view showing the angle between planes A and B. Now I don't have this marked on the video here, but this is A and this is B. And then the secondary auxiliary view showing the true size of surface A. Now when it says secondary auxiliary view, that means I'm going to be using the primary auxiliary view to develop the secondary auxiliary view. And regardless, it had the directions said just draw an auxiliary view to show the true size of surface A. You would have to draw the primary auxiliary view showing the angle between planes A and B first. Okay, so what we want to do first is of course draw what's in your text in AutoCAD. Okay, and which is these two views. Make sure you go ahead and use the correct layers, and also when you get done drawing it, make sure go back and double check your dimensions, because remember, if you don't start off with the correct information, you're definitely not going to finish with the correct information. And then just take a look at the drawing and figure out what's going on here. Okay, you have 4 hidden lines here. Okay, and what those 4 hidden lines represent the front view are the points, okay, of this dovetail. Okay, so this line corresponds to this point, this line corresponds to that point, and so on and so forth. And also you have several chains of planes. Let me turn off the hidden lines for a minute. If you look at the front view, you have several chains of planes indicated by these lines in the middle. So you need to figure out, just by looking at the view, which plane is which. I'll turn the hidden lines back on. Now you can tell that this section around the hole, okay, corresponds to this line. Okay, the reason why is because the hole, denoted by the hidden lines here, goes the entire height or depth of the object. Okay, so that constitutes that plane. This line represents the, and it has to by process of elimination, you'll have to probably look at it a little bit to figure it out, but this line represents the top edge of this plane. Okay, and the hidden line here represents this channel, the bottom of this channel going through, and this line represents surface A, okay, that is next to surface B here. So and you can see this angling and sloping down. And I've drawn a 3D model of it, and let me change the view so it's not quite so busy. And you can see this is what we're working with here, and this is the channel I was talking about, the groove, and this is the sloping edge, and this is the upper edge that I was talking about. Okay, and if I switch over to the right side view, that's what you have. Switch back over to the front view, and that's what you see in the book. Okay, so we'll switch back to the 2D CAD, and what we're going to work on is developing the primary auxiliary view first. By the way, I mentioned this before in some of the other videos, the drawings are getting pretty complex, so you may not hear me talking quite as much because it takes me longer to get from point to point. So if you ever feel like you've lost audio, don't worry, just keep on listening and you'll probably hear me talk from time to time. But the directions say to draw the primary auxiliary view showing the angle between planes A and B. Okay, so this is plane A and this is plane B, and if we want to see the true angle between planes A and B, we project directly down the line between planes A and B. Okay, so let me switch that to a construction layer. I don't have one created yet. I'll name it construction 1, and we'll place Place that on the construction 1 layer, and I think I'll just start off probably working on both sides here that are facing the development. Okay, and again, you can actually project it back up this way and determine the angle like we're doing here, but to be able to answer the questions you need to project in this direction as we're doing here on the video. So let me do LPER for a perpendicular line, and then FR0, and then I will extend those other lines and trim off the excess. Okay, now we're going to be using this view to get our offset dimensions. So let me just draw a line straight up here, and then I'll copy that around to the points of interest. Now you can see that those points go together, so that's not two separate points that we need to account for, it's just one. Trim off the excess here. Alright, so now we're going to offset from right to left and from bottom up. Okay, so this is the reference plane and this is the reference plane. Okay, so now we have our grid ready, and let me go back to the visible line here, and I guess I'll just pick a point to work with, and I will pick this one. Okay, and I'll look over to my drawing here, and I can see that, as we discussed earlier, that this plane is on this elevation. Okay, which is the fifth line from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's where that point is, and it maintains that elevation until it gets to this point. Okay, and then it dips down into the channel here that we talked about. Now the channel is 4 lines from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it dips down, it goes straight down to the 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it goes to here, and it maintains its flatness, okay, until it gets back to this line. So it'll maintain that elevation and go to here, and then it'll go up, okay, all the way to the top, because we already decided that this plane is at the very top of the development, which corresponds with this line. Okay, and it maintains its flatness across until it gets to this line, and then it begins sloping away. And the way, since this is all one plane, okay, I just need to find out the elevation of this point. Okay, and I can tell that this point is that point in this view, and so that's the 3rd line, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's right there. All right. So that's what the top outline of the development looks like. Now it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, but we need to account for, to work on this side, we need to account for the lines, the hidden lines here on the bottom. So let me copy those around, and I'll trim off the excess here. Okay, now even though this is a little bit of a tricky design, I can tell you that looking at the right side view here, okay, we're expecting everything to the right of that hidden line to be a kind of a shape that we're looking for. Okay, just following this around. Now it's going to be badly skewed because we're looking at it at an angle, but that's the general shape that we're going to be looking for. So again, we'll just need to follow the line around.